Hey guys, CTP here, and I have three big things that I want to talk about. The OKKO series finale, season 23 of Thomas and Friends, and Steven Universe the movie. But I decided to talk about all three of them in one big video. So this is going to be a triple review, so here we go. Thank you for watching the show. It is the very last episode of OKKO Let's Be Heroes. So this episode was aired after Dendy's video channel and the half-hour special Let's Fight to the End. So this is basically a big meta episode, even more so than the episode Your World is an Illusion. So basically this episode is just one big collection of episodes that never came to be. In the gallery you can see a bunch of title cards and stuff, and the episode keeps transitioning between all these title cards. And Ko just can't keep up with it. He thinks some evil force is behind it, but really, he's just missing out on all the fun events. Ko doesn't want things to change. He just wants them to stay the same, and I can see why. So kids sometimes have trouble adapting to change, and Ko is no exception, especially since things have mostly been the same throughout the show. But now it's time to grow up. There's a lot of interesting things that happen in this episode. We get to see Ko and his friends grow up. So his mom, Carol, and Mr. Gar get married, and Ide goes to a witch college, and Rad becomes a military soldier on his home planet. So that's pretty nice. And we also get futures for the minor characters too. For example, Fink, she becomes a major league gamer, which is pretty impressive. This is a really heartwarming episode with a great message that nothing lasts forever and you should enjoy it while it lasts. And it can be applied to medicine since OKKO was canceled after only 2 years. But we enjoyed it while it lasts, and that's what matters. And it got a great send-off. 10 out of 10 from me. So I'll really miss his show. But the finale was spectacular. Next is Steven Universe the movie. So, I've been excited for this movie ever since it was announced back in July 2018, and believe me, it was worth the wait. So, this movie involves a new gem coming to Earth. Her name is Spinel, and, she wants to destroy the Earth by putting a giant injector in it. When Steven and the crystal gems, try to stop her, she wipes the crystal gems' memories except for Steven. Now it's up to Steven to restore their memories and to stop Spinel. Seeing how the crystal gems acted when they were first made in Homeworld, and seeing Steven try to regain their memories by doing specific things is kind of nostalgic because it reminds you of their origin stories and everything you love about their personalities and the show in general. Steven attempts to restore Garnet's memories by putting Ruby and Sapphire in danger. This time around, it's Sapphire who saves Ruby. And then we get to see Cotton Candy Garnet for almost the entire movie, because Garnet doesn't reform until the climax. Since Amethyst's default form is sort of like a toddler who repeats everything, Steven restores her memories by having her repeat everything he says, and they just have some really good times together. Pearl is a little trickier, since she is absolutely devoted to Greg. She's like a servant. So Steven and Greg fuse to become Steg, who sings a song about being independent. That gets Pearl's memories back. Also, Pearl and Amethyst fuse to become Opal, and so Steg and Opal sing together. It's a very nice scene. One of the most memorable scenes of the movie. But the crystal gems aren't the only ones who lost their memories. Guess who also did? That's right, Spinel. As I can see in this picture, this is what she looks like when she doesn't have her memories. And so she's much more innocent and playful, almost like a classic cartoon character. So her backstory is that she was made to play with Pink Diamond, basically like a toy for her. Then Pink Diamond got tired of playing with her and she had to go to her colony. So Pink Diamond told Spinel to wait in the garden and acted as if it was a game, but Spinel was really convinced that she was coming back, and she stayed there for 6,000 years. Wow, that's really heartbreaking. Imagine if someone you loved and trusted abandoned you for a very long time, and you thought they were going to come back, but they didn't. This scene is what makes Spinel one of the best villains on the entire show. At first, I didn't want her to get redeemed, but this scene alone made me want her to get a redemption arc. After that, Spinel regains her memories and then starts to go through with a plan to destroy the Earth with her giant injector. Steven struggles to regain his powers since he was also hit by the Rejuvenator, Spinel's weapon. But then he realized that he changed, he grew as a result, and so he gained his powers back. And he sings a song all about change, how he changed and that Spinel can change too, which ultimately defeats Spinel. Spinel is very sorry for her actions, since she realized that destroying the Earth won't make her feel any better. Luckily, the Diamonds show up, and they decide to take Spinel in, since Spinel is basically like Pink Diamond. And so the movie ends on a happy note with everything getting fixed in Beach City. So yeah, the movie was amazing. The animation was just a step above the show. It's much more fluid, and thanks to Spinel being like a classic cartoon character with rubber hose animation. And I really liked most of the songs, especially Happily Ever After, Drift Away, Other Friends, Independent Together, etc. Spinel is one of the best characters that the show has to offer. My only complaint is that I think Lapis, Peridot, and Bismuth should have played a bigger role in the movie, since they were pretty much forgotten about after Cotton Candy Garnet formed, but still, the movie is a must-watch. Finally, on to Season 23 of Thomas and Friends. Note, this is only going to cover the episodes that aired in the UK. Plenty of episodes have already aired in the US of Season 23, but this only covers the episodes that aired in the UK so far. Free of the Rose is an awesome start to the season. We finally get an episode about Bulgy, and this episode almost feels like an episode straight out of the classic series. Definitely one of Michael White's best episodes. And we get to see Bulgy and Birdie's dynamic. It's pretty good. And Bulgy was just hilarious. I just wish Mattel made more merchandise of Bulgy. Crowning Around is one of the better international episodes. This episode is great because, for once, it doesn't focus on Thomas. Instead, it focuses on Rajiv. And I give this episode more points just because of that. It's an episode all about how you can be really useful even without something that is like your lucky charm. And Rajiv can still be useful even without his crown. Check out some trucks. This episode was okay. I admit that my favorite part of the episode were the flashbacks. We got to see a flashback to Percy Takes the Plunge, Thomas in the Trucks, and Dirty Objects. I just think that Rebecca seemed like a Mary Sue in this episode. She had a great time with the troublesome trucks, all while Thomas, Percy, and James have humiliating accidents. It's kind of aggravating, but this episode is alright. The other big engine. Well, I actually did an individual review on this episode for my channel when it came out in the US in May 2019, so you can check it out to get my full thoughts on it. Heart of Gold. So far, this is my favorite episode in the season. We get to see Toby at his best. He easily stops a pair of thieves from stealing King Godred's crown, and he proves that he can still save the day even if he's really old. Also, we got to see Ulf's Castle, which means we got to see Millie, Glenn, and Sir Robert Normanby, which is always nice. Back to Cut. This episode is a thing. Nothing interesting really happens in this episode. I have almost no comment on it. There was also a scene where Thomas forgot he could whistle. How dumb is that? Anyway, skip this one. You're not missing much. I actually really liked Gordon Gets the Giggles. It was a hilarious episode with a lot of relatability. Come on, there's at least one instance where he laughed at something, even if it wasn't funny. This also expands Gordon's character quite a bit. Thomas makes a mistake. Well, you know what was a mistake? This entire episode. This episode is just wonky whistle without all the rhyming and alliteration. It's also yet another episode with the moth asking for help when you need it. That moral has been beaten into the ground already. Time to let it go. Skip this one. Diesel Do Right is another one of my favorites. Not only do we get a hilarious parody of the Big World Big Adventures theme song, but we also get to see Diesel at his best and funniest. Now I want a spin-off starring Diesel. Grudge Match is okay for the most part, not the best, but not the worst either. Raoul's character gets expanded on a lot, but the plot was There was some really weird Chuggington physics in this episode, which always puts me off. I don't think this episode is as bad as people say, though. To conclude this video, all of these were quite spectacular and made September a great month in regards to animation. I can't wait for more Steven Universe and Thomas episodes. This is CTP signing off for now.